This video is going to be a lot different than my usual kind of video, so bear with me here. I know that the idea a lot of people have gotten from some videos in the past, like you don't care about small creators, is that I'm frustrated with my lack of success on the channel, but while that is a little bit true, I will not lie and say that I've been doing this for like, what, 6, 7, 8 years? And like haven't gotten a really big break. I won't lie and say that that isn't frustrating to some extent. I, at least in the year of our Lord 2026, am absolutely happy above anything else that I am a small channel in modern day. I'm happy that my uploads aren't consistent and that I am completely unoptimized for the algorithm and cannot like efficiently pull in new viewers. Apologies, it is first thing in the morning and I usually get very nasally, mostly to editor me, who's going to have to cut out most of the disgusting mouth sounds. But what I specifically mean by this is, in present day, to make it as a YouTuber, you have to be so much, it's so much different than it used to be, like when I started YouTube, because I don't know if you guys know this, I don't know how many of you know much about me at all, but I started YouTube back in 2018. Technically 2017 if you count my oldest channel. I've been making videos for a long time and there have been several things that are definitely contributing reasons as to why I haven't done very well. Not in any way the least of which being the fact that my channel initially had all of its videos removed from it, and then I started uploading to it again after removing all the videos, because my parents... I wasn't technically supposed to have this channel. I was not allowed to do it by my parents, so I just made it look like I was stockpiling videos for when I can finally upload. But it very truthfully has always been my dream to be a YouTuber. I've always wanted a community that I can upload to and hear back from. And I won't lie, I haven't grown a little disheartened by the almost astonishing lack of any sort of feedback or hearing back from the great cosmos, the void. All my videos like never get any comments unless I piss you guys off. So hey, isn't that the modern landscape of the internet for you in a nutshell? But speaking of which, YouTube recently had a funny little moment that I'm sure you're hearing people talk about still, where the CEO and like spoke about for a second time how he just loves AI. He wants a robot's dick down his throat. He is a slut for AI. And this isn't slut shaming, as one myself. But no, the CEO mentioned that they're going to be pushing AI a lot more still, introducing a new thing where you can create short using your own likeness at ease. And of course the argument is, oh well, this will help with mitigating the amount of low quality content because it gives everybody a tool to make good high quality content. And you know, obviously this misses the point. Obviously this misses the entire point of like low quality content is low effort content. It's not that it's not that people not having the tools to make good content is what's the issue. It's the people who don't have the skills or the care, and you can't just make skills appear out of nowhere. And I think that's a big thing that AI kind of misses the point of in general, is you can't just make a skill appear out of nowhere. You have to have the passion and the discipline to be able to actually like build it up for yourself, right? Like you can't just be an artist, you have to want to be an artist. You have to do art for more than just the final product. It's like anyone can learn piano, anyone can be great at piano, but how many people have been like taught piano and then fucking hated it, like did not give a single fuck about the piano that they learned? But I don't think it was ever the point to actually, like, I think that's just lip service. What I actually think it is just capitalizing on a market. See, because AI is watched, it's not enjoyed. I think there's a big misconception that people have, is that like, yeah, some of the most viewed short videos are AI, but like yeah, a lot of the most popular short form videos, like YouTube Shorts, happen to be AI generated videos, but I don't think this is just a happenstance, as my wording may have just suggested, but I do think there's a reason for it beyond just, oh well, it's what people want to see, because it's machine made content it's obviously going to be made as efficient as possible. It's not that it's actually captivating people, it's just catching their attention efficiently enough. It's like putting Subway Surfers in the corner of your video. It doesn't actually make it something people want to watch more. It's just, it just keeps them distracted for long enough to count the view. Because, like, you watch a video and then you have Subway Surfers in the corner and you're just watching that the whole time instead of listening to what's being said. It's you don't remember what the video is talking about. Right, so it's like, it's not an impactful experience. And I just see a lot of people misconstruing the amount of views and the fact that people watch it as like this is what's in demand versus this is just what works. It's like, I'll put it this way, if you handed a town full of people, just like you gave everyone, you just shoved it right up their nose, some of that no snow, some of that bad sugar, I don't know street names for the cane of co, but you got everybody exposed to that, hooked on that, give them a high once, and then you just hand them another, put it right in their hands. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna be like, oh no, that was very, very harmful for me. That didn't quite like leave me satisfied with my life or benefit me in any way other than giving me momentary distraction without having to use my brain properly. No, they're gonna do it again. They're gonna fucking shove it right up their nose and go because that's how addictions work. AI content and short form content in general, but I don't know if I'm ready to deal with the backlash that this full conversation would give, is just inherently addictive. It's meant to addict you. It's not meant to actually like supplement your life in any meaningful way or do anything better. It actually actively harms you. I would know. I like not to like videos, but for stuff like chatbotting, like, you know, character AI and all that, the extra free access escapism that provides was directly detrimental, and I can't imagine other forms of generative AI were much better or are much better, and from what I've seen of people, it's not. All of this to say, the reason why the CEO is promoting it is because it make number go up, and this CEO is a tech bro. He is just through and through a tech bro, not public facing at all. He doesn't show his face ever. The only time his face is shown is when it's attached to an article of him giving an interview that was not recorded and was just written. Like, you know, it was recorded, but it wasn't like a video. He never speaks to the public. He would never fucking make a YouTube channel. He's just not a good CEO for YouTube. He's like near the start of his reign over YouTube, he was immediately like promoting NFTs until that ship sank, and now he's here doing the same thing with AI because he's just a suit that is meant to make the number go up. If you ever wonder why like ads have gotten so horrible, he's the one that started like the war on the I believe this. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's the one that started the war on the ad blockers. A hill they have most certainly died on. But yeah, no, he's like completely interested in monetary gain, and he's absolutely in no way invested in the creators. And I'm happy to see a lot of people speaking out about his behavior now, but I kind of wish it was sooner, because honestly, he's been like this for a while, and it's really become apparent with how bad YouTube's gotten. Which brings me back to the topic. I'm glad that I'm not a big creator, and that I don't have a type of content, like I don't have a specific niche or style, and I don't have a specific way of doing things that's necessarily replicable. I kind of change very constantly and am hardly consistent, and I'm happy about that, because that, while it doesn't mean anything good for my numbers on YouTube, obviously, what it does mean is that there is no world where an AI would try to replicate me, because what you're seeing now on the platform of YouTube is like, again, numbers first mentality. You're seeing, like, more than ever, it's no longer about making a new type of content. It is no longer about having a style that you can call your own. It is entirely about just doing what other people have succeeded by doing. Like, you think of stuff like the commentary channel slop. One of the biggest reasons I hardly do commentary channels as of current, or one of the biggest reasons I hardly do commentary videos as of current, is because the amount of channels there are that are just, well, pointless commentary slop, to say, to use the common buzzwords that the average viewer would understand. They're just like talking about whatever they saw Dextero post on Twitter, and giving very little insight or comedic value or anything. They're just talking about it, repeating themselves a couple times until they can get the video past a certain length, and then they're done. And they will make another video the moment like somebody takes a micron of a step in any direction during the situation's popularity, and then once it dies down, it's no longer a topic. And you can really see channel Dolan Darkest, otherwise known as Slop Live, kind of exemplifies just how easy this content is and how easy it would be to not stretch the videos out as far as they do. But then you also see this thing of like, it's not just like people callously doing what other people are doing just because it's the successful thing. It's also like, if your style is specifically replicable enough, you'll even have the misfortune of having AI channels that are just people like off in some random part of the world, just hiding behind the screen, making a fuck ton of money doing what your channel was already doing, but infinitely more efficiently, thusly outcompeting you because they can pump out videos that you were making faster and more efficiently because they didn't have to create it from scratch. And it's like, that's just so unfair. And that's kind of why I'm happy that I've never become a successful channel, at least happy that I'm not one in present day, because to be successful in present day means that you're manufacturable. Like, YouTube, what it wants from new creators, like the only creators you really see doing what they want without having to worry about things are creators who made it years ago, like legacy creators, like people who have been around and been doing things for a while and have been successful. And even then, you still have channels like, and boy do I have a bone to pick with this guy. This fella named Pyrocynical, his second channel, Slop Live, where he does like either stream clips or I don't know if he still does the slop commentaries, where he basically just like, I don't know, talks about a topic and then repeats himself while speaking at 30 miles per hour. But like I know for a fact that he's still doing this, where he'll go through and talk about, I know for a fact he's still doing the thing where he does reaction videos and then titles the video like it's the base video topic. Like the only way you could tell is by, you know, looking at who uploaded it and having the background knowledge, which is, it's very scummy to say the least. And I don't care if he's, I'm gonna be real, one of my least favorite phrases is I respect the hustle, or I respect the grind. This like justification of contributing to the pollution of YouTube and contributing to the mass of like media that is just shameless copies of what everyone else is doing, all to make a quick buck. I can't respect the hustle, because what it's doing is actively ruining the viability of actual creators. And like, yeah, okay, that's one less person that has to deal with poverty, but what about the rest of us? Like, you know, it's like, what about all the up-and-coming starving artists that are now going to have it worse off objectively because a couple of wise guys were like, hey, I know how to game this system. It's like, YouTube is in all ways an economy of sorts, and anytime you have people taking advantage of it and taking it for a fucking joyride, there's going to be others who then suffer in the wake of that. And the fact that YouTube actively promotes this is just like, it's why we got to where we are today. So like, you know, no, I don't respect the hustle. I feel like I'm kind of dancing around the center point, but I've also kind of made the supporting argument for my center point. I don't know, I'm going off. I don't have a script for this. One other thing that I really don't mind about being a small creator is that while I don't get the community attention I wish I did, I also don't get the toxicity that people have to put up with, and I don't get the expectation to be a machine that produces content for people, like, without second thought, you know? And this whole, like, machine mentality, this whole doing what other people do, the whole, you know, appeasing the algorithm and compromising the content that you make because the algorithm demands it. The algorithm demands that you step more in line, and the people do too, because it's just like, it's just so much easier for them to disassociate. And this is why I was like really harping on the like, you don't care about small creators in that video. It's not that I think that you don't. I believe that people really do have a sort of sympathy for those in a plighted situation. It's just the fact that the platform itself has conditioned you into being callous towards creators, specifically ones who can't keep up with the grand landscape, because they're people like me who just want to make for the fun of it and don't actively want to sell themselves out or start thinking like a corporate businessman just to be able to make entertainment. Like, people like me do this out of passion, and we do this for free, and it's so upsetting to me, at least, which is why I was a little outraged in that video. Of course, I like played it up performatively, but like I was so outraged inherently because it was just saddening to see the whole expectation of being this punctual factory producing content machine be put on like small channels, and like the idea of a variety channel just not existing, because if you can't capitalize on like one or two specific niche ways of doing content that's wildly successful, then you can't capitalize on anything at all, which is just like no fun. But the fact that not only do we have to compete with the likes of people who just have an infinite ability to throw their own passions and desires to the side just to make a quick buck, but also teams of people who can optimize their content through the fucking stratosphere, basically just turning it into an actual like studio produced show with no like there's no divide between creators who are like well put together teams and just little guys starting up. Like whenever people speak to like the quality content that's on YouTube and stuff, and like I've seen this for a while, but it's, you know, it's more pertinent today, that like the amount of times I see channels that are brought up that are like very much collaborative projects. They're like teams of people working on stuff, and a lot of times it's paid for efforts. There's just such a lack of an appreciation for the little guy anymore. And as the self-proclaimed most popular small YouTuber, I am the most popular YouTuber with 1,200 subscribers. This is factual, don't check it. It really saddens me specifically, because it's just like, well, what about us? Do we just have to ignore that burnout exists now and just make content even when we don't feel like doing it? Otherwise, we can just give up on ever doing this for any sort of a reason. Like, it's not just the fact that I can't make a job out of it. It's also the fact that I can't hear back from anyone in the comments about this. Any video I make doesn't get any feedback, even though, you know, calls to action are made and stuff. And I try my best to, like, not do any of the whole annoying YouTuber things, like saying in the middle of the video, leave a like and subscribe for because I want to be able to respect my audience to do things on their own, to have their own, you know, prerogative, to be able to actually like think for themselves and not think the way that I tell them to think. And that's why I don't like optimize the shit out of my video editing either. It's like I don't want to I want to be able to respect the viewer's ability to pay attention. Like, I don't want to treat them like they're a toddler that I need to jangle the keys in front of, and I don't want an audience of people who are like that, but YouTube just doesn't let people who want to have a normal audience with normal content that is engaged with in a normal way to exist. They don't want them on the platform anymore. And, like, I say all this about, like, the optimization and all that, and you even see legacy creators have to go through this. Like, I have heard many times from, like, the likes of Jacksepticeye or Dan TDM or Captain Sparkles, maybe? But, like, from guys up top, 8-Bit Ryan, as another example, it's like, hearing those guys who have very much already made it, it's like, hearing them also talk about the struggles of needing to put up with an algorithm that constantly keeps trying to outdate their style of content, or like, having to keep things engaged and active. And like I really resonated with it when Jacksepticeye talked about how Mr. Beast ruined YouTube because he, you know, he gamed the system, and then it became a game of who can optimize a video the best, who can, like, people become YouTubers without ever touching anything other than the recording, and even then they might get someone else to record it for them. They don't ever edit their own videos or do their own titles or do their own thumbnails. They have other people who actually have talent for that do that, because those people are putting their talent up for sale, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to make it on their own. And it's just like, that leaves you with a site full of people who don't care. People who don't care and make up the majority of the website. You don't see YouTubers collaborate like you used to unless it's big ones or ones in like the same genre or the same like niche or like creator group. But more onto what I was just saying is like, making a video that's relaxed and bite-sized without making it super like hyper edited and super optimized for attention just doesn't work anymore. Like, having a multi-part Let's Play series just doesn't work. Like, you'll see, and also it's just like there's been a huge promotion of the idea of like recycling content, because you'll have people who do a whole series and then at the end of the series make a like several hour long full movie edition, when it's like, you could just go and watch the playlist. And if you want to tell me that there's more ads watching it playlist version than there are watching it video version, I assure you, maybe that was true at some point, but it's not anymore. It's functionally the same. It's just the playlist version has more natural stopping points, so it's more pick up and put downable, which I think is healthier to engage with. But like, you know, the main point is just like they'll be making a new video out of videos they already made to make more money off of something they were already making money off of. And then you have people who are incentivized to have like a live streaming channel, because streaming on a channel that uploads videos is actually harmful, I've learned. It hasn't stopped me though, I guess. And then they will have their VODs channel, and then they will, I mean, I think the VODs and the live channels are usually in the same vein, but like, then they will have their VOD highlight channel, and then they'll have an entirely separate channel for clips from the VODs, rather than the highlights. And it's just like this supreme overproduction of one's content. Like, if you can't, you need to have the wherewithal to make 3 channels out of 1 just to be able to like efficiently monetize yourself. And then when you start something, you can't change. Pigeonholing was always a problem on this platform, but it has not gotten any better. It's gotten worse as a fact. All of the problems of this current day internet are what we used to call out in the community, what we used to make fun of people for. Pyrocynical himself used to criticize people for making reaction videos and then misleadingly titling it as if their video was the original. I could probably find a clip of him criticizing that very practice. Unless it's one of the videos that he's muted, because to hell with just leaving the video up and letting it stay copyright claimed. I'd rather make money off of it but give the viewers literally nothing to watch but the visuals without audio. Like, man, is this really... It's just, being a popular YouTuber on the platform today means being a person that I could never stand being. It really just means, like, being more of a corporate suit than you are a creative. You can't just make videos and share them. You have to game the system in one way or another. And if you're like me and have no interest in gaming the system in any real way, or are just looking for, like, actual feedback to your videos to improve, like hearing back from what people want to know, or hearing back from what people liked about your video and want to see more of from you, you can't get so much as that, because YouTube has optimized video watching to be as detached as TikTok scrolling, if not more, because you don't see comments on videos nearly as much as you used to. Like, I know the view to comment ratio was always a little fucked. Like, not every viewer on YouTube wants to or has anything to say, really. Maybe they just kind of enjoyed the video and didn't have too much else to say about it. And, you know, that's fine. That's a-okay. I'd still appreciate it if y'all would leave a like, but, like, you know? It's okay to not have much to really say, but it's just the fact that I feel like it's a bit more than just people not having much to say, and stems further to, like, people have been normalized to the idea of just turning their brain off and letting the almighty magic box with entertainment, the almighty distraction box, distract them so they can turn their brain off and not have to think. And, like, that's just all they use the almighty magic box for, which just kind of, like, ends up hurting channels like mine, who would otherwise benefit from hearing back or being able to see any noticeable, like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, and it also doesn't help that, like, nobody sticks with the channel for the personality. Nobody, like, sticks with a small creator to see them grow anymore unless they themselves are a creator, because only creators really get that. And part of that could be just because there's so many more people on YouTube now, and a lot of them are children. Like, a lot of them are children. Oh my god. And, you know, it's obvious to see why, because YouTube caters towards children. I mean, there's no actual reason swearing in a video should restrict how much monetization you can get other than the fact that it's not child friendly. Because when it's, it's not advertiser friendly, that's just code for we are ducking the FCC's regulations and we want to prioritize our marketing towards children, and the internet is a wonderful market for that. And it's just like, yeah, but what if I don't want to make content for children? What if I don't want to interact with children, period, online, But because of how much people are on YouTube, there's a lot of people who are probably watching on devices that they can't conveniently leave a comment on, like their TV, or maybe they're on their phone or something, but or like a tablet, and the tablet is out of reach because they're doing something else, because this is just like the background noise. And I mean, I don't blame you, especially for a video like this, having it on for background noise. Most of my videos I make with the intention of it being watched actively. Like, I throw a shit ton of visual gags and stuff into videos for the sole purpose of, and I also like throw little bits where I'll have something appear on screen for, not long enough for you to actually process what you just saw, with the intention of having you pause the video and go back to look at what it was for, extra engagement. Not like as in a metric, but I don't even know if that counts as proper engagement metric. But like having that moment where you pause and then go back to see what it was just engages you as a viewer, and it makes you more part of the experience. It gives you more of an active role instead of just sitting back and watching. But for a video like this, it's a lot more just, I'm just playing Sonic Utopia. I don't, like, this is made for you to just focus on what I'm saying. The gameplay is irrelevant. I've looped around this entire map like 3 times. But like, I understand that YouTube, that there's a lot of cases where people are watching YouTube and can't comment, or couldn't conveniently comment, nor would they really actively be in a position where they'd try to. And I also get that. But I do think the amount of like disengaged viewers that are just watching for the sake of having something to make their brain stop thinking for an amount of time does detriment ultimately the audience feedback and the ability to actually like improve in an organic way, instead of just trying things out, taking shots in the dark, and then looking at how that affects the numbers on the chart. Because I feel like number-based improvements don't make content better, it just makes it more what YouTube's looking for, and what YouTube's looking for is callously optimized. Which is why I never really bought into the whole, like, that being a thing that, like, improves the watching experience for viewers, because it feels like a mad race to grab your attention and hold it by the balls. It doesn't feel like an actual, genuine, like, everyone on YouTube's competing with each other, And if you're doing the same thing as somebody else, you're doing the same type of content as somebody else, it's no longer about, like, everybody makes content such to the degree and to the frequency, or are expected to, that, like, you can't have multiple creators of a same genre who upload within reasonable time frames, in which you can, take a break from watching them, and then go and, like, if you still have the free time, then you can go and watch one of the other creators of the same genre or type to see what they're up to while you wait for the other guys. It's like, it's no longer a cooperative ecosystem where the existence of other channels of your same type is a beneficial thing. And like collaborating with said creators is equally not as beneficial anymore, because I'm gonna be honest, man, collaborations and shoutouts just kill channels faster than they do not. Well, okay, I mean, like, collaborations less so, but shoutouts specifically really feel like, hey, go check out this creator. Okay, I'm going to check out this creator. Subscribes to them, doesn't actually like watch any of their videos immediately, so then YouTube doesn't push any of their videos into your feed. And I've already gone on for quite a bit, and I'm gonna try and wrap it up now. But like, I will say one thing that I could go on for hours about how YouTube specifically is designed to like suffocate channels just based on like YouTube's designed competitively. Like if you're on the homepage, you show up on the homepage, at least from what I know, if your video shows up on the homepage and then somebody else's video shows up on the homepage, and then the viewer clicks that video and doesn't click yours, that actively hurts your metrics. That actively counts as a little dot against your video. That's one person that didn't click on it when they saw it on their homepage, regardless of who else is on the screen. So it's like, it's inherently made to put creators at odds with each other, because if you're not the most clickable thumbnail, then that's a little bit more of a point towards your failure as a channel. And like, you know, that hurts the creator ecosystem because people aren't nearly as collaborative anymore either. It's just, we're all off on our own, doing our own things, even more isolated than we already were with everything else going on in the world. And that just makes creators as a whole depressed, I think. And it's that lacking of togetherness that just like really solidifies and cements the problem of, like, if you're a big creator, it used to not be this way, for one, because there used to be less creators on the platform, but also because of how it was originally like beneficial to, you know, have solidarity. But now it's just lonely at the top. You have maybe your team of creators, and that's it. The only other people that like really work in the same space as you, like the only thing you don't really see nearly as often, the phenomena of like PewDiePie inspiring a bunch of Let's Players, like PewDiePie and Markiplier inspiring a bunch of people to come after them, like, for example, Jacksepticeye. You don't see stuff like that anymore because it's no longer people being inspired by a type of content and wanting to put their own spin on it or something. And instead, it's now just people saying, hey, that person did a type of content that got a lot of numbers on the little counters underneath the video. I think I'm going to do that too and get a lot of numbers on the counter underneath the video. And then money. It all just goes back to, like, at least as a small creator, I can afford to just kind of, if I ever found other creators of my kind, I could just collaborate with them. They don't even have to be in the same genre of channel with me at all. I can just hang out, you know? I can do whatever I want, by all means, because it doesn't, like, the biggest benefit that being a small creator in present day is, like, the biggest benefit, the boon that I have, that not any of the creators who are massively successful have, is the freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. I've kind of had an issue of trying my best over the like past 2 or 3 years to do what other people wanted from me, to try and do what the algorithm wanted from me, and that just ended up making me depressed and almost quit YouTube as a whole. Which is funny because that didn't last nearly as long as like the first hiatus I had on my channel. But after that, I realized I don't have to be playing popular games. I don't have to be doing any of the stuff that I was doing. I don't have to be optimizing for views or anything. I don't have to be throwing my head against a brick wall, because as a small creator who doesn't have any like traction or anything, there's no momentum to kill. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to stress about views or how a video did. I can just make for the sake of making, and then just go and, well, okay, I was gonna say, and then just go and get like an actual job, but I live in America, so that's not exactly the most doable right now. But you get what I mean. It's like, I can keep this as a hobby because there's nothing riding on whether or not I do good or bad. And that is the biggest reason I am happy to be a small creator. The freedom of choosing what I want to do, and the knowledge of, like, although it's like an average of what I've fallen back down to an average of 20 to 50 views a video, but like that doesn't really matter to me anymore because I can just make whatever I want, and that amount of people will still be there. Maybe not all the time, but like it's like that amount of people is still that amount of people who are there to give whatever I'm making a shot, no matter what it is. And even if it is just like a portion of just my friends, sometimes it's just nice to have your friends there for you. And sometimes it's just nice to make videos for the sole purpose of entertaining your friends when you show them your videos. And I think that's one of the things I forgot about YouTube that I really, really enjoy, is just making things and then showing it to the people I care about, who then will support me and get a good laugh out of whatever bullshit I come up with. And I don't think that's something that any popular YouTuber can really do.
Then you have